Okay, now let's add some style to our blog post. If I preview my post, I see that I have images, I have things linked, but I also have a few things that I'd like to clean up. So I'm going to go back to my blog post. The first thing I'm going to do is add some extra style. There's a button here in WordPress called Show Hide Kitchen Sink. If I click on this, it gives me a few more options to change my text. First thing I'm going to do is add some small headings. If you remember, I dealt with images, so I'm going to create a heading out of this images. I'm going to highlight images, change this paragraph to heading 2. Whoops. Highlight this and make this paragraph. Now I have heading 2 sized images. I'm going to scroll down and find audio, highlight that, change that to heading 2. I'm going to scroll down and find video, highlight video, change this to a heading 2. I'm going to save and preview my post. Now I notice that my headings have changed for images, audio, and video. I also have a quote that I've included in my WordPress blog post. You may have noticed. WordPress has what's called a Blockquote function. So I can highlight this text, click Blockquote. It indents slightly, showing me that it's block quoted. This is actually comes from a book, so I'm going to highlight some of this text and make it bold. And then I'm going to highlight the rest of this text here and make it italicized. And click Save Draft. And preview my post. I see that the area that I've block quoted has become a gray box, indented slightly. Different WordPress themes will show this in different ways. Sometimes the text will be indented, sometimes the text will appear smaller, sometimes the text will appear italicized, sometimes different colored boxes will appear, depending on what you choose as your theme. Here's my bolded and italicized text. I'm going to close my preview and come back here. One other thing I've done is this little chunk of text here would work better as a set of bullets. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key and hit Enter. Come back here, find my next bullet, hold down the Shift key and click Enter. Come back here and find my last bullet, hold down the Shift key and click Enter. Get rid of some of the language that won't be necessary. Highlight these 3 items and click Unordered List, or I could choose Ordered List, which will have numbers instead of bullets. I'm going to click Unordered List. My picture's sort of in the way. Click Save Draft and preview this to see how it turns out. You notice that even though in my dashboard view the bullet points were sort of crashing into this image, here they look fine. One last step. Now that I'm happy with everything I've done so far, I can click Publish. Once I've published a post, whatever is on my actual WordPress site will appear. This post is now what we call live. There are a few other things I can do here. You might notice categories, and I can also go back and edit. So let's go back to my dashboard. If you click Posts, find the post that you want to edit, click Edit, make any small changes that you need to make. You can also add and change categories. In this case, we talked about images, audio. We also talked about blogs. Now if I have any other pages that I create that are related to blogs, audio, images, or video, I can also tag those by clicking. I can also categorize those by clicking there. Click Update Post. Return to your live post. Hit refresh. I see that new categories have been added related to this post. And I'm done.